Welcome to Black Belt Beauty Radio, a podcast fueled by a passion to support your journey in developing your most beautiful and optimal performance in life. Each episode is driven with the intention to elevate your mind. When we elevate our mind, we elevate our life. So get ready. It's time to rise. What's up, everyone? Welcome back, or welcome to Black Belt Beauty Radio. It's Solosode time. I've got an epic, very relatable topic for all of you today. It was not the original topic I planned to break down in a Solosode for you this week, and that topic that I'm pushing aside for a minute, I will get back to because it's super good, needs to come out. But this particular topic was inspired by something that went down in my life this morning that I feel is worthy of breaking down, not necessarily the actual incident, but more so how I processed it and maneuvered through it. So, you guys, we've all heard the term that sometimes in life, shit happens. And by that, I don't mean anything that's like life-altering and very traumatic, like somebody getting sick or, something of that nature. That's a different subject. This is just the stuff like where it's like these setbacks, these bumps in the road that just pop up, unexpected, certainly uninvited, like, you get a little rear-ended situation, or your computer breaks down, or just these annoying things that usually just result in time and money, oftentimes both, and really can be a setback in a lot of different ways, right? And so they trigger us to become frustrated, just emotional, angry, things of that nature. So, everybody in life at some point or another, several points, most likely, deal with these, occurrences, right? And that was me this morning. I woke up and, I did all my typical morning mental priming stuff that just feels so good. And I want to put emphasis on this because, it's not like I woke up and I woke up on the, quote unquote, wrong side of the bed and I was in a bad mood. No, I was fucking feeling great. Meditation, journaling, did some work, and then I'm ready to go train with my family, really excited about it. It's sunny outside. I'm appreciating the sunshine. Walk outside, you guys, and boom, car is not there. Car got fucking towed. And right in that moment, I remembered when I parked, last night, that there was a sign, like a temporary construction sign, that I didn't really read well. My bad, my fault, for sure. And so now I'm standing in the street, and, my whole morning is about to be diverted into another direction. And immediately I'm triggered. I'm like, fuck, here we go. So I have to do the calls to find the, where it is. And even that had some annoyance in it. And I can spare you those details, but just to say that, now I have to call an Uber and Uber over to the town where it is. And, ultimately it's just setting me back in time. And, I'm going to have to fork over a couple $100 at least. Right. So here's what I feel like there's so much value in just really teasing this apart and then serving it to you guys. The whole point of why I feel like it's important to share this is, number one, like I said, we all experience moments like this, right? And one thing that's very, very important to me is to, when these moments happen, I'm really someone who's interested in, composure and, who I am in these moments, right? Because I'm being challenged, right? When these things happen, we're essentially being challenged. We're being challenged by life in a way, right? And, so I'm standing there, I'm waiting for my Uber, I'm frustrated, and I can see myself being frustrated. Now, I'm not freaking out by any means. I'm not, like in total asshole mode. I'm just annoyed, and rightfully so. It's a very annoying situation, right? That the emotion is valid. And I want to put emphasis on that because, as much as I am a, in quotations, positive person, I look to the light of things always, and, very just an empowered person. I choose empowered thoughts, intentionally every single day in my life. I look in that direction. But that doesn't mean that I'm immune to these other human emotions like frustration, aggression, anger, even. Absolutely not. Like, they're there for a reason, you guys. And so now I'm watching myself be frustrated. And, I get in the Uber comes, I get in the Uber. And, basically I have this visitor that we're going to call frustration, right? In my fortress, which is my mind. And I'm making sure that my visitor doesn't override me, doesn't turn me into an asshole where I'm like bitchy to the driver and I'm, getting in, talking to the tow company people, like just super pissed off and aggressive. I'm watching, but I am frustrated inside. There's no denying that. I'm not going to even try to pretend that. And, I think, again, like, that's very important because, yes, it's important. Be positive, look to the light, all that stuff. You guys know, for those of you who are, been connected to me, been following me, but, you know that I'm all about that. But I'm also about being real. And sometimes, you guys, shit just fucking sucks. And you got to write it out, right? So I'm watching this visitor frustration, and it's essentially like frustration is in the passenger seat at this point. Literally going on this ride with me to the tow company. All right, I see you. Cool. Get to the tow company, walk in, and, these people that work there are definitely on the defense, rightfully so. I'm sure people walk in there all the time, like, ready to just blow up because, what a waste of money, right? Like, holy shit. And on that note, I discover I'm paying just under $500 for this tow, you guys, and it's not even 10 in the morning. Forking over, $450, plus there's a ticket on it, so it's like $500. It's not even 10 in the morning. And, I'm paying attention to my visitor frustration because for sure in that moment when you get the bill, it's like, oh my God, frustration can totally flare up and take over. I'm not allowing it. I'm breathing and I'm just, allowing myself to be a human, understanding that I am frustrated and, but handling my business and doing it to the best of my ability in that moment with that, frustrating energy and not letting it like turn me into a total asshole. So I pay the bill. I get, now I'm waiting for the car. I walk outside. I'm waiting for the car. And I walk outside, you guys, and there's this star. It's like this beautiful big star that's designed in this part of the curb. And I stop and I take a picture of it. And I don't know why that star just did something to me, where it was like, all right, so you've been challenged. And now what? It's done. It's done. You're about to get your car. You've paid the bill. It's done now. So now you get to choose what you want to do with your emotional state and the rest of your day. You get to decide if this challenge is essentially going to beat you, and you're going to allow, frustration to move from passenger seat to driver's seat, basically carry you into the rest of your day, or you get to leave this shit right here and just be like, it's done. I'm grateful I had the money to pay for it. And that's a wrap. Like, I'm done with it. I allowed myself to be human and I'm done. And I'm staring at the star and I'm thinking about all that. And yeah, I had a choice right then and there. And I chose to leave that shit at the tow company. Like, it belongs there. It works with the energy of the tow company, right? It's like, leave. I drop frustration off. Like, bye. Okay, thanks for, accommodating me. Not accommodating, sorry. Like, coming with me on this journey. I was human. It almost felt good to be frustrated for like just a very temporary moment. But I'm done with you and I don't need you anymore. Like, you're not going to serve me. You guys, if I allowed a frustration, that little fucker, to come with me, it would have jumped in the driver's seat and taken me wherever it wanted to go. It would have dictated the rest of my emotional, state which would have affected my actions. That's how we go from, in my opinion, that's how we go from having a shit moment to a shitty day. And the thing is, you guys, I would be lying right now if I said, now that I'm sitting here at the end of the day and said that I had a shitty day, because I didn't. I actually had an awesome day. Yes, it would have been 100% better if I didn't have to fork over $500 and could have went and trained with my family like I planned. If that moment didn't happen, oh, for sure it would have been better. But I can't discredit all the great things that took place after, I dropped off frustration, picked up my car, and carried on with my day. And I have to say that in some ways, like, there was a big win in that moment. And I think, like, looking at that star, it reminded me, like, you could be a badass right now. You could win this battle right now. Or you can become a victim of your circumstance and allow it to disempower you. Disempower you to make the choice, because you have the choice to say, I'm done with this and I'm leaving this behind me, and I'm going to carry on with my day as I intended to when I woke up this morning, and do my best and kick ass with it, within it. And that's what I did. So it's like, in a way, it's almost like, all right, life, you got one in. Like, that's a nice sucker punch. Good job. Okay, but you didn't fucking beat me. And on that note, you guys, get in my car. I go straight to the gym and I have a killer lift session. And it was like kind of extra because I didn't walk in there aggressive, but I had this energy of, you can't beat me, and because it's like I already won, right? Because I was so aware of the fact that I didn't allow it to take over me. I didn't allow the morning, shit moment to override me and to consume me and then to, dictate the rest of my day. No, I took control. I'm the fucking boss of my energy. And, I talk about this a lot, that, what a powerful tool self-awareness is, and why I feel like it's so important to, do things to essentially become more self-aware, and I often refer to meditation as being one of my greatest tools for that, and also writing, just journaling. Like, man, there's nothing more powerful in because I've been doing it for, the majority of my life, and it's really allowed me to just be able to witness myself and, not judge myself, just watch myself. And so, going back to that moment where I'm waiting for the Uber and I'm very aware, like, you're fucking annoyed right now. You're frustrated. But, I think a very important thing to also point out about that was that I didn't get frustrated at myself for being frustrated. Listen, I was very far away in that moment, in that emotional state, from where I was when I walked out my door. I walked out my door of my home and I felt primed and elevated and, just really good. I felt really good. And then now I'm waiting for this Uber and I don't feel that good. I'm fucking pissed, and I'm frustrated. And, so it was like I was so far away from where I was, and essentially like where I really always want to be. I want to be hanging out in that state of elevation, of, feel good for as many minutes of my life as I possibly can. But the reality is this, you guys, we can be doing everything fucking right, have all the, we can have the right attitude, be doing the right things, be setting yourself up in the right way, but it doesn't mean that we're not going to be thrown these curveballs. And listen, like, I'm always going to also personally, this is just me, and maybe it's, I'm sharing this stuff like with the hope and intention that it can inspire you in the same light, or at least in a similar way. But, I could have read that sign better. I'm not going to sit here and be like, fuck the city, it's so much money. It's like, no, man, listen, that might be the case, but listen, I could have also, I was tired. I just, flew in and whatever, came home from the airport on my car, whatever. I didn't read the sign. So next time I know, I'm going to read the sign better. I'm going to be more, just careful, basically. So I found a way to learn from a mistake. I didn't get angry at myself for being in that very human and valid emotional state. I watched it very carefully so it didn't become, so it didn't like consume me, turn me into a total asshole, or now I'm like fighting with people that I love and like, taking it with me into the rest of my day, because we know what happens, man. That's when, like I said, you take a shit thing can happen and then it turns into a shit day or a shit night or a shit week, right? And because then you like, oh, you stub your toe, or oh, now you lost $100 bill, or oh, you get a phone call that just, you lost a client. I don't know. It's like energy works like that. I'm a firm believer in that, we are conduits of energy. So if we're walking around and, we're just allowing ourselves to be consumed by this kind of not feel great, negative kind of energy, then I feel like it really is momentum that perpetuates more of that shit to come towards us. Now, when I say that, I'm not saying that, it wasn't, it's not like you invite, things you could, like I said, you could be doing everything right and then some shit thing happens and it's not necessarily your fault in quotations, right? No, I do think like, listen, in a way, I can analyze the situation. And first of all, I can say that it was my fault. Should have read the sign, right? Boom. Okay. But aside from that, I got thrown a challenge. And, the thing that I think is most important to me about this whole scenario is that, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, I might have, in fact, there's a very good chance I would have allowed frustration, keyword allowed, frustration to jump in the driver's seat and drive away with me from that tow company, and then carried it into, have it take me wherever it wanted to take me in my day. And it wouldn't have felt good, and it probably would have brought on more shitty things, right? But you guys know, like, I love this podcast. It's like, how do we continuously turn ourselves into better versions of ourselves? And so that we have a life that reflects it, right? Because I feel like that's, the more that we're kicking ass in life, the more that, things in life that we're, that make up our life will be a reflection of that, right? So I'm really interested in how I can keep progressing and to realize that, maybe 10 years ago or whatever, like that would have been the case. And now here I am 10 years later and I'm like, no, I have the ability. I'm able to kind of zoom out and watch who I am in these moments and be gentle with myself, be human with myself and maneuver through them. And then, make that choice of saying, okay, enough and done, and move on. And that is progression. And so really I want to, that's another reason why I think I feel so inspired to talk about this, is that these things are going to happen, you guys, but we can always find ways to become better in these moments with ourselves. And listen, it's all for our own benefit, right? Like, if I would have allowed frustration and aggression to dominate me, like, who's losing in the situation? Just me. It's throwing gasoline on the fucking fire. It already sucked. Why would I do that? It's not even logical. And I love pointing that out, like the logic part of it, because I like to do things that make sense, So when you think about it, it's like, it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense to throw gasoline on the fire, beat yourself up, like carry it with you. And so, I feel like this is an opportunity for me to say, hey, you guys, you can always zoom out, put some breathing room in between you and, that moment that you're going through. Analyze yourself. Don't judge yourself, right? Just pay attention. If you got to allow yourself to maneuver through that emotion for a minute, do it, but be in charge. Like I said, I was watching my visitor frustration in my fortress, my mind, my body, the entire time, like a fucking boss, like just, a security, like a bouncer, like, okay, I see you, like, okay, you're here for a moment. I'm going to entertain you for a moment, but then you got to go. And I'm proud of myself, honestly, because that's what I did, And like I said, the rest of my day was badass. Time with my family, excellent sessions with, with my coaching clients. Just really great things happen. Like that live session was solid. And above all, I'm able to sit here now and have this like inspired topic that I feel is so relatable because, like I said, everybody goes through things like this, and break it down for you guys with the intention and hope that I can empower you to also be able to, enable this choice that we all have. Like, just for you to say, like, you're right, like, I don't need to throw gasoline on the fire. I can make it easier on myself. And I know I want to say this too. Listen, I know that every circumstance and situation is going to be different. Like maybe some people don't have that money to pay if they were in my situation, and that would cause a whole, another level of frustration. And I am empathetic with that. I know that's the case. I know that, but I do firmly believe that we still always have a choice of how we react, how we respond, what we choose to do with the information that we're processing. And ultimately, you guys, like I said, we can choose to make things harder on ourselves or not. And, another way that I like to point it out and look at it is like, man, I don't like to lose. And I certainly don't ever want to be a victim of my, life circumstances like that, especially things like that where it's like, I was driving away and I saw the hospital and I'm like, I'm grateful I'm not in there. There's always a way to look towards something that is, where you could be more grateful, where you can say like, well, that sucked, but, I'm breathing, I'm smiling, I'm healthy, like I have a roof over my head. And I know that stuff sounds so cliche at sometimes, like because when shit just sucks, it sucks. And that's also why I really wanted to drive home the point. Like I'm not trying to put a band-aid on it. I allowed myself to live through those human emotions of feeling, annoyed and frustrated. But it's all about how you manage it. Listen, being an emotionally resilient human is very, very attractive to me, and it's something that I am constantly aware of how can I continuously strengthen this part of me, because I'm going to quote my brother Mike Safai, who was in the last episode before this one. It's a really good one if you haven't listened to it yet, but he has this analogy, like he doesn't believe that we're moving towards life. He believes that life is moving towards us, and we have to be agile and like, it's like an obstacle course that you have to maneuver around. And that really resonated with me. I really do feel that as well, because, here I am day in, day out, you guys, doing my fucking absolute best from every angle of best. Like I'm reaching for it. I'm really reaching for it, right? To just live for my absolute best. Like how I feed my mind, my body, how I interact with life, humans, the whole thing, right? But that doesn't make me immune to these scenarios where shit's going to happen. And then I got to deal with it, where life is kind of coming at me like, gotcha, but at the end, I'm like, no, motherfucker, you didn't get me. Yeah, it sucks to lose that $500 and lose that time. But at the end, what really stands as the win is that I dropped it. I didn't allow it to beat me, to dominate my emotional well-being. It was a setback for that temporary moment, but that was it. And so it's like, I win. I absolutely won. And I believe that all of us have the ability to activate that, choice and maneuver through, these shit happen moments and win on the other side of them, So yeah, it just felt like the right thing to share right now with you guys. Maybe it's something that you're currently going through, or you just got through, or you might be, might be coming at you. I mean, I know there's going to be more moments like that. And here's another important piece before I close out on this one. Being aware of how I maneuvered through it, and really, not just being aware of it, but like appreciating, like, man, you didn't let it beat you. And look how, yeah, you were frustrated, but that's okay. Like that's going to happen. But you stayed composed overall, and you stayed in check. You were the boss of your emotions. And to know that I have the ability to do that, you guys, when this next shit moment comes, which hopefully won't be for a while, I'm aware. It's like I have this stripe on my belt, like, no, you're good. You can handle a lot of things, man. You're strong enough to beat, these frustrating moments. You can handle it. You know that. Like, you've already been here and you're in control. You're the boss. And so it really carries over and over. So like, maybe you just went through something similar that's super frustrating, but you've beat it, and pay attention to how you beat it. And that will carry in the next moment that this comes, you're going to be able to process it stronger. You're going to be more emotionally resilient. And then you guys, going back to the whole point, it's like, you're going to be a better version of yourself in that moment than when you were, last time even, and it's going to continue to carry forward. So pay attention to these wins. It's so important to say that. And it's so important to really take that in. Because this is how I really believe that we become better versions of ourselves, like by acknowledging, right? Paying close attention and becoming more self-aware. Man, it's so important. So, yeah, I really, really hope that this resonates with you guys in a way that is supportive and, invites you to say, to yourself that you do have this choice and you can activate it every single time. And I hope that's what you do, because it's fun, man. When I look now and I'm like, shit, you know what? Next time you're going to be even more fucking resilient and, good job. So that's what I got for you guys this week. I really hope and trust actually that it's serving you right now and, going to keep you fortified in the most strong and, empowered way. So let me know your thoughts. I love hearing from you guys. You know that. And, I'm always, just holding you up in the highest of my energy and looking forward to being right back here with you on the next one. Thanks so much, you guys.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode, you guys. If you loved it, please share it on your social. Throw it up on your Instagram stories and tag me. I'm at Black Belt Beauty. I am also at Roxy Look, RoxyLook. I love connecting with you guys. This is a conversation that I want to just continue growing with you guys. So if you feel inspired to hit me up, do so in that space. I always enjoy hearing from you. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so by rating it and reviewing it via iTunes. It's such supportive help, you guys. It really helps the visibility of this podcast. So I appreciate and thank you in advance for doing that. And last but not least, if you are interested in starting your own podcast, or perhaps you already have one and you need help with, editing your audio and the production of it, I cannot recommend my producers enough. Resonate Recordings, you guys, they are the bomb. I rely on them. They are an absolute supportive tool to me and my podcast. So check them out and let them know that Black Belt Beauty sent you. And on that note, you guys, I'm signing off with all my love and always looking forward to catching you on the next.